So you've just finished making all your parts. What we're going to talk about now is actually removing the mold and replacing it, or just removing it. You can do either of the two. So what you're going to want to do right now is turn off your heating element, but keep your motor on and make sure everything else is off. And for your first thing, what you're going to do is move the carriage back so the nozzle will be out of the back of the mold. So just move the whole thing back, double click, should move back a little bit, double click it again, and move it all the way back as far as it can go. Then what you're going to want to do, you can see that the nozzle is now outside of that little sprue well. And now what you want to do is you're actually going to want to close the mold. You cannot remove the A or the B side of the mold by themselves. It's just not good practice. It could fall apart, some could fall off. So you're going to want to put the two A and B sides together. So you just go to this button over here, it'll close the mold, double click it again, and you can see it'll go slow until it makes contact, and then you want to stop. And then you're good. So turn off the motor for now until the next step. Alright, so here are some of the tools you're going to need, all of them, for getting this mold out. So the first thing, most important, is this eye bolt. We have different sizes on all these molds over here, so you're going to want to find the eye bolt that matches your mold. So just come on over here to your machine, open this up all the way, and you can see on the top the biggest threaded bolt in the center, which is important. You want it in the center so the mold is balanced when you take it out. Just thread it in. It doesn't need to be the most snug, just snug it up. You don't have to torque it down to any specs. So just make sure that's in there. And then you're going to want to find the right size hex for these retainer bolts over here. So that one's pretty snug. And more often than not, you're actually going to need to use a cheater bar. And then you have this strap. This is going to go through your eye bolt later. We'll show you exactly how to do that. You might need a hammer in case the cheater bar is not enough, but usually you don't. And then one of the most important is actually this strap with a hook. This is actually going to go onto this strap through your eye bolt. And so when you have the mold above the machine and you're transferring it over to the mold storage over here, it acts as a retainer. Someone can hold on to it and make sure that mold doesn't swing around, because that'd be really dangerous. So that's a really important one to have. So what you're going to want to do now is take off this B side, all these B side retainers. There's usually 4, 2 on each side. So just get your hex, make sure it's snug, because you don't want to strip out these bolts in case they're really in there, and then just take them off. You can see that'll slide down. As long as that's in there, that'll be fine. And then just do that for all the rest.
On the B side.
On the B side. You do not want to do the A side yet, until you have something supporting it.
I'll remove them from the other side of this as well. The next step is to take and get the crane over the mold. So what you're going to do is just slide this over, make sure you don't hit anything. And sadly, our shop was not designed properly. So this is usually supposed to hang directly over here, but our machines need to move 2 feet back. So that's why you have to be very careful not to hit the machine or the computer or anything about this.
So right now we just put the eye bolt in. That's secure. Just want to check that. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to close this off and move this whole platen back. So it will only be supported by the A side here. So it's, you know, a good idea to just go and check that these aren't wiggling, because you don't really want it falling off and damaging the mold and the machine. So you're going to want to close this off. Careful for this hook up here. Turn your motor on, and then you're going to move this whole carriage back here, that platen. So double click. Sometimes the motor has to wait a little bit, and then click it on. Do it a little bit at a time. Make sure that you're good, and then it'll reach its full back position, and you're good. So you can turn off the motor. We usually do that just to be safe, and open the whole thing up. And now what we're going to do is attach all the straps and hopefully lift this mold out here.
Alright, so if you look at this hook, it's a bit too big to go through this eye bolt, so you're going to need one of these straps. No, it is just a big loop. So, what you do, just slide it through the eye bolt, Make sure it's even. Grab your hook, and your guy on the chain should make it until it's nice and tight.
Alright, so the next step is to remove this. So what you want to make sure you have to have first is that make sure that the mold is secure on here. So it's together. That's make sure it's fully compressed. That way, you know, nothing, the B side doesn't drop off from the A side and smash onto the floor. And then the next thing also is make sure you have significant tension in here, enough to when you do remove this, that the mold will stay intact enough to remove all the screws and not put too much weight on this. So you want to make sure there's tension in this. So make sure that this is perfect. And then we're going to remove these. Alright, so next you're going to take off the toe clamps off this A-side mold. So what you're going to do is simply unloosen it. They're going to come off. You're going to do this to both sides. So you're going to do it from this side, the A-side, and then the other one's on the other side of this, on the back side of this A-side.
So we have all those toe clamps off. You can see there's a little bit of a gap. If you can see that in the video, it's starting to tilt that way. So what we're going to want to do in preparing to take it out is we're going to take this, run it over the machine, and just put it over there. Go ahead and give it some tension. So you can see that he's going to be able to pull that out now and actually keep that from swinging. And now we're off. So you can see we are out, and now we're going to start pulling it up. So you usually want one guy back there to keep tension, one guy on this just to make sure A and B side are snug together, and one guy on the crane. So we start going up. It's important to make sure that you're not hitting either side, either flattening and putting marks in it. That could prevent future molds from mounting flush. And then it's also important to make sure that you don't take this ring with you, the sprue ring, leave that behind. And also, you know, you're just going to make sure when we're taking this out that we want to clear the light, we want to clear every part of this. We don't really want to bash into anything and damage the mold or the machine. Move it over this bar. And so you're going to want to make, you know, just enough clearance to get out. And so you're going to have Andrew is on our line right now. And so he's going to give it a little more tension. And so we're pulling it out over here. And then we're going to move this whole assembly over here. And with this, you do not want it that high in the air because if any part of the system fails, the strap breaks, this is about 500 pounds of mold that you do not want coming down and hitting somebody or any machine with more force than it should have. So we really try and get it, you know, not too high. And we're actually going to put it right up here. So we will wait till the last minute to really get it over there because that's just another danger. A little more, Andrew. There you go. Okay, watch that corner there. Here, go off the corner. I got it. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go up. And it's important to keep your hands on the side of the mold, keep it together to guide it, and do not be under it. No feet, no nothing. No nothing. Alright, we're clear. Now let it down a little bit. Make sure it's on there secure. And now you can start undoing straps and everything.